You're listening to Thursday Night AMP on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Thursday night, AngryMarks.com pro wrestling and mixed martial arts podcast. My name is Stevie J. Let me introduce the three fine co-hosts I have on the line, starting with the Tuesday night one half, along with Mika Vias, of their excellent wrestling nerdcast, the one and only William Huckabee.
And in honor of all the things that have happened at WWE this week, I feel like I must start this with a tune. So I'm leaving on a jet plane, don't know when I'll wrestle again.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why this video just got a content ID strike on YouTube. But let me move on to the great Sudoku, aka Jason Harland.
And the 2017 Turducken Award goes to the WWE. Oh wait, that was me from a month into the future. Hello, Angry Marks.
Time traveling like the doctor. But the one person who's actually been to a doctor this week is Abby.
Yes, and I'm here in spirit, not so much in body. So there you go.
Which is why we're probably not going to. Go ahead, Will.
I've been to the doctor. I've been to the doctor this week.
All right. What did you go to the doctor for?
I have like 3 broken ribs.
Oh, that's right. You did tell Mika that you were a little pissed that you broke 3 ribs and she didn't even come to the show to see you wrestle.
Exactly.
How did you break 3 ribs?
All right, well, why don't you go ahead and tell that story, because we don't want to talk about TLC anyway, so roll into it.
Exactly. No, so I was in Greensboro, North Carolina. I actually happened Sunday. I was wrestling for this company, Firestar Pro Wrestling, in Greensboro, North Carolina, in a triple threat match against these 2 young guys, Griff Garrison and Mickey Fulp. And they're 2 really good green guys and stuff. And I hit Griff Garrison with my spine buster while I was going for the pin. Mickey Fulp did a senton to my back, and me being the consummate professional that I am, knowing that I weigh 310 pounds and Griff Garrison is nowhere close to that, I was trying to protect him. So instead of just going down, taking the face bump, I kind of stayed on all fours and just absorbed the entire brunt of that senton. And he landed, instead of landing high on my shoulders or on my back, he basically landed like in the middle to lower part of my back. And I basically heard my ribs breaking, as soon as it happened. But I finished the match. Like, luckily that was like, maybe like 3 minutes left to the match and stuff. We had like the go home and stuff. But yeah, I heard my ribs break, and it was a awful ride home. It was a really horrible 3.5 hour ride home.
Not fun.
That's basically it in a nutshell. Yeah, that's basically it. But of course, being a wrestler, I'm just going to take myself up and wrap myself up with ace bandages and wrestle again this weekend.
I don't think kinesiology tape can fix this one, though.
No, not at all. But
he's going to switch up the Tai Chi gimmick for the Diamond Dallas Page gimmick.
Exactly.
Actually, I think what Will needs to do is start wearing those bulletproof vests like the Shield. Maybe it'll protect his ribs next time.
Diamond Dallas Tai Chi. What? That's the gimmick right there.
You are so strange.
You got the initials DDT.
Well, we can't put off the initials, tables, ladders, and chairs, or TLC forever. We've got to get through it at some point. So why don't we just start at the top and then work our way back through the rest of this shit? Because the main event is what everybody is tuning in to see. Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins in a handicap match with Braun Strowman, The Miz, Kane, Cesaro, and Sheamus. Abby, let's start with you.
In other words, Roman Reigns beats 5 guys.
Well, the odds do have them as the minus 470 favorites, so yeah.
Yeah, they end up being what it's going to be, and probably Kane will take the pin or whatever. And I'm trying to figure out why this is a TLC match since there's nothing to climb.
Yeah, I've heard people asking that on multiple podcasts this week. Like, what's hanging above the ladder? Nothing.
Yeah, the whole pay-per-view is weird because every other year they've either been chairs matches or ladder matches or table matches or even stairs matches. This year, there's none.
No. The only match that has any kind of weapons at TLC is the one we're talking about right now. That's it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to end up being Roman Reigns.
Well, I know that's one reason Jason won't be tuning in, but I still want his opinion on it anyway.
Tango, Corn, Papa, Indigo, Delta.
Stupid.
I was sitting here trying to spell in my head, like I'm like spelling it out in the air, like what?
Actually, initially, all I heard, his mic didn't pick up immediately, so all I heard was the sound of traffic outside his window. I thought that was actually going to be his response.
Just nothing but traffic.
All right, William, what do you say about this 5-on-3?
I think it's on paper, you know, you would think that 5 guys are definitely going to beat 3 guys, but we know how big WWE is on the Shield, and I really have no desire. This will probably be the match that I tune out at. Like, I'm probably going to watch the entire pay-per-view and get to this match and cut it off.
Rumor has it this will be, this isn't going to be at the end of the show.
Well, they've said that this match will be long, like more than 30 minutes, so if it wasn't at the end of the show, I don't know how you would get an overrun.
I think it's because there is a lovely little big football game Sunday night, unless I'm mistaken, and they're thinking about running it in the middle of the show.
Because they are afraid that they're afraid people might switch to the game.
Out. Yeah.
There's a bigger heel on TV, the New England Patriots.
No, that's not big.
That was it. The Patriots are going to be playing.
The Patriots suck this year, but then again, they suck every year.
But there's still a bigger heel than Roman Reigns.
Well, I guess in both cases that's kind of true because Tom Brady, to his fans, is the greatest thing ever, and to everybody else, he sucks.
I don't know. I don't care. I only like college football.
It is more interesting in a lot of cases, but it's definitely more interesting than, let's say, the fat swamp wizard who now plays his own sister in drag versus the guy dressed up like a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween.
Well, this one is up in the air because nobody really knows what the real deal is with Bray Wyatt right this minute, or if he'll be allowed to come back yet.
Allegedly, he
For
might...
those people that have not...
Sorry.
For those people that have not heard...
Yeah, go ahead.
Bo Dallas has got viral meningitis, and since he travels with Bray and Bray's little side piece, JoJo, who's the ring announcer that he had an affair with, a broke up marriage, those two, Bray and JoJo, have been kept home, you know, for precautionary measures, and there was a scare at television a couple of weeks ago, and Bo definitely has it. Bray and JoJo are being kept off the road just as a precautionary measure, so I don't know if he's going to be allowed at the damn pay-per-view or not.
Well, JoJo's mom is on social media, and she's been reading these reports, and she's not happy about it. She's bitching that her daughter is not sick and everybody needs to shut up.
Well, yeah, that's what she said. Her daughter's not sick, and, you know, okay, another report, depending on who you trust, is saying that Bray is being kept off TV because of this whole divorce deal, because he's causing WWE headaches with his soon-to-be ex-wife now demanding paperwork.
Yeah.
So instead of pushing him in this match, they're just keeping him at home with these pre-taped segments. It kind of depends on who you believe, and since multiple people are saying the viral meningitis, I'm going to go with that story.
If that's the case, though, then this already insufferable storyline will have been an even bigger waste of our time if we don't actually get a payoff to it on Sunday.
True. But that's just kind of the circumstances surrounding this match right now.
Well, Jason, once again, you can leave the window open and let traffic be your answer, or you can actually have an answer. What do you choose?
Let me take my microphone off mute, as there was actually an airplane going by this time. So yeah, we've got Bad King Diamond cosplay versus Candy Corn Face, and well, they like jobbing out Bray Wyatt. This isn't quite Bray Wyatt. This is Sister Abigail, and if he does show up, or she shows up, or whatever pronoun we're supposed to use for Sister Abigail, I will say Sister Abigail is winning this match and just leave pronouns to everybody else.
Well,
I'm not going to have the Demon King lose going into a match, a program with Brock Lesnar, if that's where they're going.
And Bray is so low on the totem pole at this point, I can see him losing again just because that's his slot. But let's get Will's opinion.
I'm kind of on the same page with Abby. Like, if I'm gonna go with the reports that he has viral meningitis, I'm gonna go with that story. And I don't think that this match is really going to happen whatsoever.
Are you just hoping that because you don't want to see it, or do you think that's really 100% the case? Which is it?
I feel like that's the case. I feel like, if I work for WWE and you're trying to keep me off of TV, if nothing else, how about you just lie and say I'm the wellness policy? Give me the wellness policy line. Don't say I have some horrible disease. Being from the South, we're kind of superstitious here in the South, and Abby can tell you that. But there's a couple of things that you don't lie on. You don't lie on your kids, you don't lie on your mama, and you don't lie saying that you're sick when you're not. So don't lie and say I got something as dangerous as viral meningitis. Just say he had a violation of the wellness policy. Let everybody think that I smoke crack or I do steroids or I smoke weed because, Bray Wyatt's a fat kid. Just everybody think that I smoke weed.
Lord have mercy.
Let's not even get into the wellness policy right now. Let's save that discussion for later. In the meantime, Kalisto defends the Cruiserweight title against Enzo Amore. Jason, I'm starting with you this time.
Enzo, because that Cruiserweight belt means nothing, they're going to hotshot it.
Yeah, they do seem to be flipping it every couple of weeks anymore, so I kind of feel like you're right without even looking at the odds. Abby?
Enzo.
And Will, do you make it a clean sweep?
Yes, because I actually paid attention to 205 when Enzo had the title. Like, the one thing he said in that program during that one promo was right. Like, the Cruiserweight title didn't mean anything, really, in my opinion. And it had never seen the third hour of Raw until he got it. So, give it back to Enzo. He's way more compelling than Kalisto.
Plus, now he's got a bunch of hired thugs. Go ahead, Abby.
Use the word compelling. I don't think you know what compelling means. Maybe you meant obnoxious, annoying, grating.
This word compelling does not mean what you think it means.
Yes.
Look, I would rather watch Enzo cut a promo than listen to Kalisto cut a promo. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. The story is better, and his Instagram is a whole lot more enjoyable when he has the title.
About his Instagram.
I'm just saying. You asked me my opinion. You can't tell me my opinion's wrong.
It's wrong, damn it.
All right. Well, we won't be wrong about this one.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's right.
Here's one we're all going to have the same opinion about, and we're all going to be right. Asuka is beating Emma. Done deal. Abby?
Come up to the main roster and have a fluke loss for her. Yes. Let her beat Emma.
All right, Jason?
Emma is winning because WWE is that stupid.
No, you can't seriously mean that. No.
I have so little faith in WWE, I think they are going to have Asuka lose in her first appearance on the main roster.
Nuh-uh, no. The odds makers disagree, I disagree, Abby disagrees, and I'm betting Will disagrees too.
You would be wrong then, Stevie, because after what they did to Nakamura, I don't believe anything that they'll tell me. Yes, Emma's going over.
Wow. I didn't expect this one would be a 50-50 split. I did not see that coming. All right, well, go ahead. Go ahead, Abby.
Lose just for reasons, and it's just something that it seems that Vince McMahon would do. She's Japanese. She doesn't speak the language very well, so
she has a streak going. She's popular. We can't have that.
Exactly.
Honestly, I just can't see that happening. I just don't think they would spend this long building up to her pay-per-view debut to lose in her very first main roster pay-per-view match. No. They can be dumb and they can be stupid, but the one thing they are not is that stupid.
We're gonna build
way too much credit.
If I can steal Jason's gimmick for a second, Jason, do I have your permission to steal your gimmick for a second?
Go ahead and steal it, Will.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build her up as the next big thing, and then the pay-per-view will swerve everybody. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, because if she has a built-in retribution program right there, where she can go after Emma.
Oh, so are you changing your pick then, Abby?
No, I'm not changing my pick. I'm just saying it would not surprise me.
All right, well, I still say she's winning because she's got Triple H in her corner, and he does have some pull around there. Not as much as maybe he wants, but more than people maybe think. So let's move on to Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. And as much as I've liked Mickie over the last 15 years, which they've gone out of their way to point out that it's been 15 years, I don't see her winning this program because Alexa Bliss is basically the top heel of all the women on both brands. And they're not going to have her lose just yet. They need to keep building her up as this monster heel for a little while longer. So Alexa retains. Abby?
Alexa, yeah.
Jason?
Alexa, because 50-50 booking.
All right, Will?
I would say Alexa, but I'm very disappointed in that entire storyline. Period. I'm highly disappointed in the company, in the bookers, in the talent. I'm so disappointed in that storyline.
Are you saying that because she's
we all are.
Is it your bias because she's a Southern belle and she's a country gal?
No, I'm biased because of the simple fact they've used her age. And when it's guys, and I'm not like some hard-bleeding liberal or whatever, don't get me wrong. But when it's a young talent going against an older, more experienced veteran, they always play up the veteran's experience. They never talk about, oh, he's old and he's out of shape and and Father Time has passed away. Like they would never let anybody say something that disrespectful to like The Undertaker or Triple H or The Rock. But because Mickie James is a female, they think that it's okay to talk about her age and be like, oh, they'd already disrespected Mickie James years ago when they called it the whole Piggy James thing. But then she comes back again, and instead of giving her respect as a vet and having Alyssa, at least be somewhat respectful, like they've completely just buried her dick in the dirt, excuse my language, and made her look like a complete idiot to where if Mickie James does win, now Alexa Bliss looks like an idiot. So that's the only reason why I'm saying Alexa's going over. Because if she doesn't go over, she looks like an idiot now.
All right. We have a cruiserweight tag team match. Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher versus Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann. Jason?
Alexander and Swann are going over and Gallagher's eating the pin.
I think I'll agree with that. Abby?
No. Win with a little help from William III.
Okay. And Will?
I'm going to say Alexander and Swann. Cedric is my homeboy. I would never go against a Carolina guy. Ever. Ever.
And see, here I was thinking you wouldn't go against Mickie James because she's a country gal, but that didn't work, so.
No, she's from Virginia, man. They're not even a state. That's a commonwealth. Like, we don't count Virginia in the South.
All right. And there's one more match on this pay-per-view, but actually not on this pay-per-view because it's on the pre-show. Alicia Fox and Sasha Banks. Will.
My heart is saying Alicia Fox, but being the fact that she only has one T-shirt and I can't even find it on WWEshop.com, I'm gonna say Sasha Banks. And I looked really hard for that Alicia Fox T-shirt.
Yeah, she even promoted it on Instagram, so it's got to be out there somewhere.
It has to be, but I haven't seen it yet. Maybe I'm just not looking hard enough.
I think it's coming soon. I don't think they've released it yet. I think it's coming soon.
Well, I'm going to say that Alicia Fox wins just so they actually have a reason to sell the damn shirt. Abby, what do you say?
Sasha, they're not going to let Foxy win anything.
All right, and Jason.
Her Titantron should be nothing but Noam Dar just saying, Alicia Fox! But no, it's going to be Sasha Banks who takes away the victory in the pre-show here.
I guess I'm the only one calling for the upset, and it is literally an upset because Sasha is the favorite going into this, but we'll see on Sunday. That's our TLC pay-per-view unless they add some extra...
Wait a minute. You left off Drew Gulak and his magical PowerPoint presentation.
That's because there's no kind of match there, so I wasn't even going to talk about it.
I don't understand how all you people are just turning your nose up at a PowerPoint presentation.
Almost as
It's his
exciting as a
gimmick,
contract
guys.
signing.
It's his gimmick. It's supposed to be funny and stupid and ridiculous, so somebody can come up there and kick his ass.
But it's neither funny nor silly nor ridiculous. It's just
Yes, it
tedious.
is, considering Gulak. Yeah, it is.
It's not
It's
funny.
ridiculous.
I find nothing amusing about it.
If I want...
Well, I find nothing amusing about Tai Chi, but that doesn't mean that you don't.
If I want funny and ridiculous and stupid out of WWE, I'll call Breezango.
Hey, Fashion Police is the best part of SmackDown. Shut up.
I didn't say it wasn't the best part. I said that's what I would call them for because they're funny and ridiculous and stupid, and I enjoy it. In fact, I would rather watch 2 hours of the Fashion Files than 3 hours of Raw. And speaking of which, I guess that can be our transition point to talking about this week's episode, which was the go-home show for TLC. So, Abby, your thoughts on Raw this week?
I don't know. I'm so fed up with WWE. I really am. You know. And then Kane? Really? Kane?
You wanted Samoa Joe
instead? And they're bringing him back so that he can feud with, Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns retired The Undertaker and that's going to be the reason he came back. No, it's 2017. You have better people on your roster.
Like Joe.
It's Kane, damn it. I mean, no.
Were you surprised at the lengths they went to make Kane a surprise, including having him fly into a different airport and then be shuttled into the arena in secret?
That's what they normally do with people they want to surprise you with, but Kane's not a good surprise. Instead of going, oh, wow, Kane, I'm shocked, it's more like, Kane? Seriously? Really?
But I will say the visual of the two of them standing next to each other, Kane and Braun Strowman, did look impressive because it reminded me of just how big Kane is.
Kane is running for the mayor of a little bitty tiny nothing town or county and wherever he's running. And he's driving a little bitty tiny clown car around town to do it.
Knoxville.
The big bad red machine is, no more.
Yeah, the
just
mayor of Knoxville is what he's running for.
Yeah, just let him go back to his mayoral race and don't inflict him upon us.
All right. Jason, I'm assuming you didn't even watch Raw, so if you have an opinion, I don't know.
That was a good Monday Night Football game.
That's what I thought. All right, Will?
I enjoyed the Enzo segment where they beat down, what's the name? It was cool. It was really good. And, for the record, it was a pretty nice promo. It wasn't a great knock. He didn't knock out the ballpark, but he definitely hit a double with that promo. You know what I'm saying? And that segment was a whole lot better than that main event. Way, way better. Like, it took 15 choke slams and 13 power or whatever power slams from Braun, and then like 30 tombstone power drivers for them to keep Roman Reigns down. Like, if John Cena is
Superman.
No, if John Cena is Superman, then Roman Reigns is Galactus.
You want to know one thing that I did like about that segment, Will, since you brought it up?
What was that?
I like the way Enzo says the word schmuck. You schmuck! You schmuck! Stay down, you schmuck!
I like how he's always name dropping Gucci. Like, it's just like, I got a Gucci jacket, Gucci. I'm like, oh man, so awesome. Like, just name drop everything. But no, it really was a really good segment.
I just like the idea of him throwing around this money that he keeps bragging about, and that he has all this money from selling more merchandise than all the rest of the cruiserweights combined. Well, okay, break off a little of that cheddar and hire yourself some goons to beat down Kalisto. At least from a logical storyline perspective, it works.
Exactly. Alicia Fox, Sasha Banks match was pretty good as well. Alicia Fox is a really good, solid talent. That was a really good, solid match and stuff, and got the point across what they wanted to get across. Everything else for Raw was kind of like, forgetful. But, those two matches and in the main event is like the three things I definitely remember.
Actually, there's one other thing that I won't ever forget from this Raw. Dead serious when I say that. It's the visual and the audio of Cesaro with his mouthguard in saying, "We don't just set the bar, we are the bar."
Yes, just one more time when WWE stars need to remember, do not do promos with mouth guards in. Just don't do it.
I hate to admit it, but I actually enjoy it. I kind of want Cesaro to do that every single week now.
No.
I really wish they had a manager.
Who would be their manager?
I don't know. Like, just find somebody. I mean, Jesus Christ. There's like 50,000 managers on the indies. Just pick one.
Well, I don't think Joey Eastman is getting the call. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Tell Bill Behrings to go do it. I don't know.
He's too busy being a real life manager. I mean, that's how most of these indie wrestlers are getting bookings, is call Bill Behrings to get a booking.
I don't even want to talk about that. Jesus Christ. Oh man. I don't
Okay.
want to talk about him.
It sounds like you got a shoot for us. Come on. Give Dirt the dirt. You already started. What's your beef there?
Oh, no. I love Bill Behrings. I think I consider Bill Behrings a mentor. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody I talk to for advice. It was just, I got so nauseous just thinking about, as, you know, the agent for AJ Styles and Gallows and Anderson. I got so nauseous when I thought about how much money he made off of them signing with WWE. I was like, oh God, I'm so nauseous. Like, oh.
So you're
like,
just green with envy is what you're saying here. You're just straight up jealous.
Yes. Like, just, oh God.
Gelling like Magellan over here. All
I
right.
can admit that.
Well, that's good of you to be honest about it, but let's also be honest about SmackDown. What did we think of the return to Daniel Bryan's hometown and to the Key Arena? Abby, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm digging Sami Zayn as a heel. I think he's got a lot more promise as a heel than as a face. Other than that, I wasn't real thrilled with SmackDown.
How about the main event tag pairing of Nakamura and Orton versus Owens and Zayn? What did you think of that?
I said last week that I never thought that I would not care about a Shinsuke match or promo or segment. I don't care anymore. Unless they put him in a damn program with AJ Styles and make it mean something, I am not going to really give a damn about Nakamura and what they're doing with him until he runs out his 3-year contract and goes back to New Japan.
I guess I understand your
They
point
just
on that, but
crashed him.
I felt like at this point I wasn't even concerned about Nakamura to not be offensive about it. It's not that I don't still care about him or that I don't want more for him, but I thought the whole point of this main event was to get more heat on Owens and Zayn as a dastardly duo, and they achieved that with the low blow and the pin.
Yeah, but couldn't they do it with somebody other than Nakamura as Orton's partner?
I suppose so, but then couldn't they also do it without Orton? Couldn't they have put two other guys in there?
I don't give two shits about Orton.
That's what
they
I
do
mean.
whatever the hell they want to that part-timer. Go for it.
That's what
But according to Vince, that's who he sees shit in, is Randy Orton. Still, for some ungodly reason. You know, just, I don't know.
Well, Jason, was there a Tuesday night football game?
No, but I did go and see George Takei speak here in Pittsburgh on Tuesday night, and he gave a wonderful town hall, and if he's coming to your town to give a speaking engagement, definitely check out George Takei, who played Sulu on the original Star Trek.
When he does his town hall meetings, does he start with an, "Oh my"?
He did. That was the first thing he said when he got out on stage. He got that out of the way right away so that nobody would, be a jerk and say, "Hey, do the oh my." Yeah, he came out on stage. That was the first thing out of his mouth. Oh my.
Excellent. Yeah, I would definitely go to a town hall just to hear him do that. All right, Will, what were your thoughts on SmackDown this week?
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
What, the sound of silence?
That was the sound of me having an aneurysm. I know it happens very rarely, but 100% agree with Abby. It's like, that match is the reason why I believe that they're going to drop the ball with Asuka. It's the reason why I believe that no matter what happens, they have their three guys that they're going to push above everybody else, and Cena, Reigns, and Orton for some ungodly reason. And if they were trying to, in my opinion, if they were trying to get heat with Owens and Sami Zayn, they should not have put them in the ring. They should not have had Orton in that match whatsoever. I felt like Abby. It's like I watched the match just because I knew we were going to talk about it on this show, but I could care less about the match, really. It was even bad because my children, who are huge wrestling fans, did not enjoy neither Raw nor SmackDown.
Well, there is a question that has to be answered here about SmackDown, whether you enjoyed it or not. The Bludgeon Brothers. Is this going to work, or is this even cornier than the Ascension and Breezango put together? I pose that to you, Will.
You kind of broke up a little bit there. Say that. What was the last part of your question?
The Bludgeon Brothers. Is it going to work or not?
Hell no. Ew. Not even.
It's not the 80s anymore. You can't have, teams like that. It does not work. The Wyatts worked because that was somewhat realistic, but having these guys come in as the Bludgeon no, that shit ain't gonna fly.
Well, they were just like, if you want to, you say, like, Vince and WWE says that UFC is not their competition, but they do everything to compete with UFC. And then you don't, just like, why can't these guys just be two badass guys who kick ass? Like, why do you have to give them such a horrible, horrible name and gimmick like that? Like Abby said, this is not the 80s. Like, nobody wants to see stuff like that anymore.
Mm-hmm. And the really perplexing thing is giving these guys hammers and then immediately thinking they're never going to get to use those because the only guy that's ever been allowed to use a hammer as a weapon is Triple H. So why would you even do that?
Like I said, this isn't the 80s anymore. Gimmicky shit like that does not get over.
The only person that gets over with a hammer in professional wrestling is Tai Chi. If you can't do it better than him, don't do it at all.
Will, I swear to God, you say one more thing about Tai Chi on the show, I'm going to reach through the phone and just strangle you.
Well, I'm going to use that as our segue to discuss New Japan and any New Japan news that is worth discussing. So, Abby, why don't you take the lead on that?
We have two Road to Power struggle shows coming up this weekend, bookending TLC. One on Saturday morning at 5 a.m. and one Monday morning at 5:30 a.m. Basically, I'm not going to go through the whole cards on these. I'll pick out a couple of decent matches. The one on Saturday is Nagata and Nakanishi's 25th anniversary show. So they will be facing off. The Ornery Uncles will be facing off against each other in the main event on this show. So Saturday show looks like fun. There will be a Los Ingobernables versus Chaos match as the co-main. Tacos, Goto, and Yano will take on Taka Michinoku, Takashi, Azuka, and Minoru Suzuki in what should be a fun match, just because Yano's going to be there. And basically, that's all the fun stuff on that card. On Monday's show, the main event is, let me scroll on down here. The Super Junior Tag Tournament starts on Monday's show.
Yay.
So we will have a quarterfinal match in a co-main with Kawato and Kushida taking on Roppongi 3K. And in the main will be Titan and Dragon Lee taking on Takahashi and Bushi. So with Dragon Lee and Hiromu in the same ring, that's going to be absolutely insanely great.
Well, you're going to want to tune into Monday's show too, because you got a multi-man tag match. On one side on the team is ACH, and on the other side is your boy Tai Chi.
I know. I was just looking at that. It's like, I don't know who I want to win. Like, I'm seriously going to call ACH, and I'm like, look, man, I need you to do me a favor and get me a Tai Chi autograph or grab me like a Tai Chi mask. I'll never threaten you again. Like, for real.
He nails him with a damn hammer.
Like, I hope he gets, if he gets me something from Tai Chi, like, I will never harass you ever again. Like, I'll never threaten to beat you up or take your Jordans ever again.
I hope Tai Chi beats the shit out of him with a hammer.
Now, Abby,
They haven't even announced anything for World Tag League yet. The only thing they have announced, and that was Meltzer either letting a cat out of the bag or just hypothesizing that Jeff Cobb and Matt Riddle will be one of the teams this year. But Matt Riddle, in his ever, calendar deficient ways, is double booked for most of the World Tag League. So now we don't know if that's just Riddle being Riddle and stoned and not being able to tell what day it is, or if he's going to be in World Tag League or not.
But I
guess we just have to wait and see for the original official announcement.
That is what I was thinking of, though. You're right. Matt Riddle and Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb, a.k.a. Matanza.
The Chosen Bros.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of Matanza, did anybody watch the finale of Ultimate Lucha this week?
No.
I haven't watched that in years, sorry.
And unfortunately, I
I have no DVR, but go ahead. I'm going to watch it anyway, so give me a spoiler.
I won't give you a spoiler because I don't have a DVR anymore, so I wasn't able to record it.
Okay, let's hear it.
What's there to hear? I can't tell you anything about it because I didn't see it.
He hasn't seen it. He was asking if any of us
had
seen it. None of us have.
I thought you said you saw it. Oh, no.
No, I said, has anybody seen it?
I think Lucha Underground has kind of lost some of its shine.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess it's all to the good that this was the season finale, and it looks like it's not coming back.
And we talked about that last week. There is a backer, but, it'd be bare bones production costs and all that stuff, and I'm not sure if they're going to do it or not.
Yeah, I'm not even sure they could do it with bare bones budget because the whole point of that show is the temple.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Lucha Underground anymore if it didn't, but, Lucha Underground kind of jumped the shark somewhere in season 2 for me anyway. It just was never the same after season 1, but... we talked about New Japan. Can we talk about New Japan's developmental for a bit?
Sure, why not?
Yes, this past weekend was full of global war shows from Ring of Honor and New Japan.
I saw them from Chicago. I didn't see the earlier ones. Yeah, they culminated with the
Chicago shows. Well, they offered those free Ring of Honor if you're a ringside member. So that's the way we got to see those. But yes, it all culminated Sunday night. at the opening of the show, if people missed it, Cody Rhodes gave a nice little promo. The night before when they were in Columbus, Ring of Honor had put out this little Cody in character, doing it, this I'm the biggest draw in wrestling deal, yada, yada, yada. And somebody on Twitter, tweeted it to Roman Reigns and said, Roman said something along the lines of, unless he starts drawing 100K gates, I'm not even going to bother clicking on the link. I'm like, dude, you're performing in front of shows that are sold out and tarped up. Don't start even comparing yourself to being a big draw or anything, because you're really not. So then on Sunday, Cody opened the show with a mic and didn't name Reigns by name, but referenced what he said and said, I thought that combat vest you wore only covered up your stomach and failed drug tests, but it also seems to cover up some envy as well. So, And then on the newest Being the Elite episode that was released today, instead of the FTR gimmick that they've been using, it is now FTRR, which I'm sure y'all can figure out what that stands for.
Why would you say that? I haven't watched that episode yet. I was gonna watch it as soon as the show was over.
Spoilers.
Dude, it's 20 seconds with something on a fucking coffee cup.
Such
It's
a
not
horrible
like I told you
person.
they shot Kenny at the end or anything.
I do have to say, though, I do like who came out to interrupt Cody's promo. It was nice to see Dalton Castle make an appearance.
Yes, the fan that he pulled out of the crowd was Dalton Castle under a mask. So
it was beautiful.
yes, it was lovely. This was a pretty good card. We got Marty Scurll and Hiromu Takahashi. I was surprised that Marty actually beat Hiromu.
And he attacked him with Darrow, which
yeah, he
made
did.
my
That
day.
was rude.
I mean, I have Marty Scurll's theme in Audacity right now. I'm going to make a ringtone out of it because it's that awesome, and Marty Scurll is that awesome.
Yes, Marty Scurll is great, but he broke Daryl's paw.
And Hiromu hit that sunset flip powerbomb, and Marty took it. My goodness.
Yeah, I know. That was a really good match.
Better than that Team Rainbow Bright versus Silas Young and Ralphus there. That was,
leave the best friends alone, okay? Greg and Dustin are just fine.
That is the worst name for a team. Could you come up with a less intimidating name than Best Friends?
It's
Like
Chucky
if
T
you tried?
and Trent Beretta. I mean, they're not actually very intimidating, even though, we love them, but still.
Care Bear Stare versus Beer City Bruiser and Silas Young.
I can't believe you call Beer City Bruiser Ralphus.
He's Ralphus. He's Ralphus 2K17.
I can't believe you call. He's a nice guy too. It's just horrible.
And Ralphus wasn't? Why the Ralphus hate?
I don't know. Because Ralphus wasn't even the actual wrestler. Like, Beer City Bruiser is an actual trained professional.
Yeah, but Ralphus was a security guard.
Actually, he was a truck driver, and then he turned into Jericho's security guard.
Also on this show, Bully Ray did promo spots in the middle of all of the shows, basically the same one, only in this one, he announced his in-ring retirement. I'm still under the impression that this is a work and is not for real.
Yeah, it felt very worky.
Yeah, I mean, he did take a nasty table spot at Death Before Dishonor, but I keep thinking that, it's not for real. And I don't know why I think that, because, I mean, everybody has said that it was a bad concussion and he can't remember anything from that day and that he was acting really weird, this, that, and the other. And I don't know. There's something about me that just doesn't believe it. Oh, God, and if you watch the show from Pittsburgh, I think it was, or no, Philadelphia, Mark Briscoe in the first match of the night, he was going against Hiromu, did some kind of weird-ass move out of the ring and dislocated his elbow, and they gave a close-up on it on the show, and you could see his arm just sticking out of his skin. It was so bad.
Ugh.
Yeah.
There were 3 words that made my day on this show, and that was when Minoru Suzuki said to Jay Lethal, I want chop. And then he just laughed maniacally. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, that was fun. I would love to see Suzuki and Lethal go at
And then,
it.
holy shit, Suzuki managed to get Shane Taylor up with a God-style pile driver. That was impressive.
This was just, Suzuki was so over during these shows, and it was so nice to see. But yeah, I would love to see Jay Lethal and Minoru Suzuki just go at it because they gave no fucks in this match. They just beat the shit out of each other and kicked each other out of the ring. It was glorious.
It's like Jay Lethal turned Suzuki's chest like bright red, and Suzuki just kind of laughed it off and wanted
he kept
more.
laughing and asking for more.
Beautiful murder.
And we go from beautiful murder to Colt Cabana and Toru Yano.
Which I loved.
I thought I would hate this because I do not like Cabana, but this turned out to be, I loved it. It was just great. And
This
Yano
was the
actually
perfect Yano match.
Yano actually sold the DVD that he carries around with him to a fan in the crowd and put the $40 in his booth and then rested the rest of the match.
I actually liked them how they traded DVDs at the beginning. That was a good spot, and then they worked some shenanigans with it. And then Yano went and sold the DVD, but it was kind of a cool thing where they traded their DVDs at first.
Yeah, it was just fun.
I think part of why it was fun is I don't know if they've wrestled before, but I haven't seen Yano and Colt Cabana wrestle before, and it was fresh and it was new, and it's not like the guys in New Japan that I've seen wrestle Yano a million times and know what they're going to do. This was just completely out of the blue and out of left field, and that had a really fun feel to it. Yeah,
it was one of those fun matches that, you had the intensity of Suzuki before that, and then, Yano and Colt Cabana, who you weren't expecting to put on a 6-star match, but it was just fucking fun.
But they both played to the comedy just amazing, and they both were ripping off turnbuckle covers and just trying to out-psychology each other. Yeah, within the scope of a comedy match, they were doing psychology, but within the scope of a comedy match, which was great.
It was great. And speaking of great, the one after that, Will Ospreay and Flip Gordon.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Will's a cat. Will's a cat. Fan chants in this match were great.
And Flip Gordon, I didn't realize he was as good as he was until this match.
He's good, but again, he kind of like that Best Friends. Flip Gordon sounds like a 1970s superhero TV show. He needs a new name. Flip Gordon. But they put a great match.
Yeah, it was a bunch of flippy shit, but it was
Gordon hit Ospreay with Ospreay's own move. He hit him with the springboard cutter. It was
really good flippy shit.
Sure was.
And then the IWGP United States title match where there was, no championship belt to be found anywhere because, again, Kenny Omega forgot it.
Well, they each blame the other for not bringing it.
Yes, Kenny thought that New Japan had it, even though how, I don't know, because he was wearing it the night before, and New Japan thought Kenny had it, and so nobody ended up having it. So in the end, it didn't really matter because Kenny retained. Not that big of a deal. But yeah, he and Tacos put on a really good match, and I have no complaints. Except for all the interference at the end.
Yeah, that was just Bullet Club and Chaos, pseudo-Chaos.
But it was nice seeing Chaos actually act like a faction.
Yes, which never happens, even if they did have to bring in guys like Flip Gordon and... Well, I guess Beretta's in Chaos and
after the match
Yano pulling the referee out of the ring was usually I hate that spot, but when Yano does it, that is something that is just so Yano.
Kenny won, and then after the match, the Young Bucks were looking for a phone for somebody to take a selfie. And kept looking towards the crowd and looking to them, and then one guy stands up, and it's Jimmy Jacobs with a phone. Jimmy Jacobs, who got fired from WWE last week for taking a selfie with the Bullet Club. So now we have the, Global Wars Jimmy Jacobs Bullet Club selfie. And he did an interview today on Law and said, yes, that was the reason they told me I got fired, and no, it was not a mistake, and no, I have no regrets. So it seems like Jimmy Jacobs knew exactly what he was doing when he did it.
Mm-hmm. And because of it, he's probably going to get a new contract with Ring of Honor and be an even bigger star on the independent scene thanks to WWE putting him out there.
And I really like that unprofessional T-shirt that he did within, 5 minutes of being fired.
That was a stroke of genius.
That was really good. That, and then he's got another one that says unprofessional wrestler on it. So I guess he got nailed for unprofessional behavior.
Oh, wow. Speaking of unprofessional, I think we just got interrupted by a truck driving through somebody's living room.
Somebody's drag racing outside or something.
Wow, that was loud as shit.
It sure was.
But speaking of Ring of Honor and Kenny Omega, they announced today that Kenny Omega will be competing at Supercard of Honor during WrestleMania weekend. So all of the people who are going to start with, Kenny's coming to the WWE right after his contract expires at Wrestle Kingdom. A, his contract doesn't expire in January, and B, no, he's not going to WWE in 2018. At least not until the Bucks contract expires sometime in November.
On another podcast, I heard the greatest idea for a WrestleMania weekend show. You have a show that is nothing but doinks wrestling each other. You get all the indie doinks, and you just put them all together in matches on a card.
I have an even better idea.
How many are there?
There's like 300. There's enough to put on the show. Trust me, there's like 4 of them in just West Virginia. Oh, I would totally pay to see that.
Doink Championship Wrestling.
I have a much better idea. Send the Young Bucks to Super Kick Party, every single one of them.
You know what? If there was a all-doink wrestling show with Tai Chi as a special guest referee.
It's a little early for the Turducken Award, but I'd give that idea a Turducken.
What?
WWE has already won this year's Turducken. It's in the bag.
Give Impact another month. We haven't had Bound for Glory yet.
Yeah.
It could be a close race, I suppose, but.
Yes, but on that note, why don't we go to some cheap plugs, unless Abby has some more news that we want to discuss. I'll leave that up to her.
Well, there were several big things this week, Stevie. Let's see, they held tryouts for WWE this past weekend at the Performance Center. One of the big names there was Madison Rayne, former TNA woman who was on Creative and, all that stuff, and now she's trying out for WWE. During the WWN show this weekend, Gabe Polsky and I don't even know what this guy's smoking, or has this great talent, these great talents like Matt Riddle and Keith Lee, and they wait till the fewest people as possible are able to watch the show, and then they pull the trigger on Keith Lee. They say, hey, there you go, you're going to beat Riddle, and, you're our champion now. And 5 people are watching. And then Monday, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, we had Triple H's nutritionist give an interview where he said that a lot of guys in WWE are on human growth hormone and testosterone replacement. The 2 things they're really not supposed to be on. Now, I don't know about other wrestling writers out there, but if you were like me, you got an email later on in the day after you wrote the story from WWE asking them to change their story. WWE asked me to change my story and include the statement that they had to make, saying that only 7% of the talent had exemptions for human growth hormone and testosterone replacement. I don't even understand what medical use you would need human growth hormone for.
Well,
at least not as an adult.
I can't give you that answer, but I can tell you why you would get a therapeutic use exemption for testosterone.
And that would be?
Because you've taken so many steroids that your body can no longer produce testosterone. So you need therapeutic replacement for what you can no longer naturally make.
Well, then you don't need to be wrestling.
Yes, and that's the same thing.
You've got that many health issues. You don't need to be an active wrestler. I'm sorry.
And that is the same reason that you sought a bandit for mixed martial arts, because if you need testosterone replacement, maybe you shouldn't be fighting.
Yeah. But, we know that the wellness policy is a joke. I think everybody knows that now, and this just kind of added fuel to the fire of that. Yes, it's a joke.
It's a work like everything else in WWE.
And basically,
and then
we all did the math in the AMP chat and concluded that if there are 200 wrestlers on the active roster, 14 of them get exemptions.
Plus 11 part-timers that don't get tested at all that I'm going to say are all going to test dirty.
Well, that included the women, and I don't really think that, that Brie Bella and Nikki Bella are on steroids.
Alexa Bliss, definitely, yeah. I mean,
Actually, just about the only woman that you could think would be on steroids is the one who took a leave of absence, which is probably where Abby's going next.
No, I wasn't, but you have this way of swooping in and, taking the rug out from under me where news goes. But, we can talk about that now.
Yeah. So, it's
Nia
up for
Jax
debate.
has taken a leave of She, according to Alexa Bliss, who talked to the New York Post today, she just is taking some time off because of the schedule.
It's grueling.
Other people are saying that she's that she's unhappy with creative and the direction that her character's going, and Alexa's saying that it's just taking a break from the schedule. If it's taking a break from the schedule, it's kind of sudden because over the last weekend before all this happened, she was happily on Snapchat and everything, talking, about how she was debuting her new hairdo and this, that, and the other. So I'm kind of really not buying that, the schedule's just too grueling. I have a feeling there's a lot more to the story than that.
Well, plus she was supposed to go film stuff for Total Divas in New York, and now she's not. So she's not just taking a leave of absence from wrestling, she's taking a leave from everything.
Yes, from everything WWE related. That's why I said I think it's more than just,
more than just a grueling schedule.
Being tired of the road.
I agree.
But she is The Rock's cousin, so she has more leeway than other people do.
Yep, she's got a little bit of pull.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. News broke this week of what they're planning to do for the main event of Survivor Series. Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar.
No.
And we saw that come through on SmackDown on Tuesday night when, yes, Jinder challenged Brock. And I don't fucking understand it. I don't know who the hell wants to see that match.
Vince.
I don't want to see that match. Do y'all want to see that match?
No, but Vince McMahon does.
Vince McMahon's a moron. Literally, he's a moron. Let's see. Impact Pizza. Well, you can't do wrestling cohesively. Try pizza.
So it's a pizza that's given away free and nobody wants it and nobody likes it and a lot of people have never heard of it.
It's a pizza that has 6 sides but only one angle.
Then we had the WWE employee who got on social media this week and wished Matt Hardy was dead.
Yeah, what was her name?
A seamstress who works for the...
I've already
Julie
forgotten.
Youngberg.
That's it.
Julie Youngberg. She is Shannon Moore's ex-wife. And
yeah, she's not bitter. She's not bitter or anything. No, not the least bit.
No, made some comment about, well, why couldn't, Matt be dead? Oops, did I say that? People, if you haven't figured it out already, do not go after anybody with the last name of Hardy because Mama Rebby will come in and she will just fucking kill you. Which is what happened,
Yeah, basically she outed Youngberg as being like a stalker and accusing them of hacking her computer.
And a cheater and all of this, Rebby just, like she said, hey, I don't have a job to lose. So.
Yeah, it kind of seems like Youngberg maybe should let go of that axe she's been grinding. I don't think it's doing her any favors.
No, and this is one of those times where WWE probably does need to step up and do something because this is an ongoing issue with this woman, and it doesn't look good for, her. And this woman makes no bones about being a WWE employee on her social media. And she's a seamstress. This is probably one of those times where it would be best for WWE to say, we wish you best in your future endeavors.
Or at the very least, tell her to stay the hell off social media.
Or, act like a human being. Any one of those things.
Right.
It was announced that today that Adam Cole and Drew McIntyre will face off for the NXT title in San Antonio the night before TakeOver next month, and that Shawn Michaels will be special guest referee.
Yep.
And it just so happens that Ring of Honor is running a show same town, same night. So,
do they ever build up anybody before they give them a fucking title shot? Like, it's just like, hey, sign top indie guy. He's that makes his debut. Give him title or title shot. Like, do they ever build anybody up from the bottom?
Of course not. But this kind of leads into the next news story it's Jack Swagger, who was on social media today talking about how WWE likes to come in when the indies are having their big shows and all of a sudden announce special cards or special appearances or network specials like they're doing with Starte, next month. And then they did this thing with the Ring of Honor show today. How it's predatory and petty and all that good stuff we were talking about last week. So yeah, he talked about that today using the hashtag on Twitter, stand up for the indies. If y'all want to go out there and look and see what all that's about. And we talked about Kenny being at Supercard of Honor during WrestleMania weekend, so that should nip those rumors in the bud. And that's pretty much all of the news I have for this week, except for Neville. The latest on him is that he is 100% gone, at least on his end, from the company.
And there was
and he's been unhappy since January. And
a little wrinkle in that was that apparently one of the things that pushed him over the edge, if you believe some of the news sources, was Austin Aries, after he left, made more money in 6 weeks than he had made in 6 months.
And that
I could believe that. Yeah, I could totally believe that. Hell yeah.
Like
without a doubt.
When the whole Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns thing happened this weekend, some fan made some comment about, how Cody, there was no way in hell Cody was getting paid more on the indies than, he was making in WWE. And Cody came back with, well, not to brag or anything, but, Ring of Honor offered me double my downside from WWE, and there was something else in there that I can't remember now, but it was like, yeah, pretty much I am making more money than I was in WWE. And I don't think that people realize that unless you're the top guy in WWE, you're not making great money.
No.
Especially when you factor in that you have to pay for rental cars and hotel rooms and food, and you don't get reimbursed for that stuff. The only thing the company does is, pay for your flights.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they only pay for, I think they only pay for like overseas flights, if I'm correct.
No,
like when they go international, they do pay for their flights in the continental USA. Yeah. Like what I don't think that most fans realize is that like when you get these stars like Cody Rhodes, like Austin Aries, when they leave WWE or whatever and they go to the Indies, everything is paid for. They get their flights paid for, they get their room paid for. 9 times out of 10, it's some mark-ass promoter who takes them out to eat and pays for their food and their drinks that day, and they get their payout, and they sell a ton of merchandise. Like I said,
the money they get to keep. Unlike in
exactly,
WWE, they only get a couple of pennies from each shirt that's sold.
Exactly. Like the first show I worked with where the Young Bucks was on that shirt was on the show with the PWX in, I think they were in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, at this this bar and stuff. And the Young Bucks came in with like 11 boxes, full boxes of merch, t-shirts, pictures, you name it, they had it. Young Bucks and Bullet Club merch. And they sold everything. They were selling t-shirts for $30-$40, and there was fans buying 3 or 4 shirts at a time, on top of these pics, on top of paying for autographs and pictures and everything. Like, they made a killing in merch. Like, and most fans don't realize that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't pay attention to some of these behind-the-scenes things that, like, New Japan World puts out or other documentaries from the indies put out. You will see these things called sponsors. And this is something that WWE doesn't have, but this is something that some indie talent, I'm not sure if it's here, but I know that they do it in Japan. They have sponsors that pay for everything. Literally, they don't, the talent doesn't pay anything out of pocket.
They have some. Certain areas where I go to, I know that I'm going to be taken very well care of by certain fans and stuff. So they're out there. It's not as prevalent as it is in Japan, I don't think, but they're out there. Some guys do have, fans who will take them out to eat and will look out for them and get them hotels or whatever may have you.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're a smart business person, you can be very well off financially on the indies, much better off than you are in WWE. And with the rumors going around this week that there's a lot more people that are looking to do what Neville did and leave, we might just see the, landscape change when contracts start coming up.
Okay, well, on that note, let's get William some more indie bookings by letting him plug everything right here on this show.
Well, first of all, as usual, you can catch me every Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night we record the Wrestling Nerdcast right here on the Angry Marks podcast. Luckily, we have some great producers, Stevie J and Killer Kev, who make sure the show is up, usually Tuesday night, with myself and Mika Villa. So follow the Wrestling Nerdcast on Facebook at Wrestling Nerdcast and on Twitter at WNerdPod. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram for William Huckabee and Twitter at WA Huckabee. Check me out, follow me, give me a like, and make sure that, message me for any and all Incredible Hulk merchandise. Because winter's coming up, I'm be coming out, I'm gonna start selling brand new Incredible Hulk beanies. It's gonna be awesome.
All right, Jason, I haven't heard you plug veggie bending in a little while. Have you got any new recipes on there?
I have not, but that's something I should do because I cooked up a spaghetti squash tonight and made a sauce for it, and it was wonderful. You can check out the recipes that are there that are like a year old now or more. If you haven't been there yet, check it out at veggiebending.wordpress.com. Check out New Japan World, NJPWworld.com, the best 999 yen you can spend a month. You can find me on Twitter at Great Sudoku. I'm also going to plug 2 sci-fi shows, each that drop on Thursdays. One is The Orville, and the other is Red Dwarf. There's a new season of Red Dwarf out, and The Orville, well, that's just better than Star Trek is. Fuck Star Trek, fuck that owl. Watch them on your local TV stations, or you can also find them on Kodi through the Elysium plugin. I'll also plug Jim Sterling on YouTube, who did his little Stardust gimmick, which was fun to watch.
Yeah.
His take on Stardust, Goldust, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it actually was kind of a cross between Goldust and Stardust. He did a little bit of both. And then every time he would emphasize, trademark character of Jim Sterling, son!
Oh, hopefully WWE, hopefully he can get WWE, 2 different divisions of WWE to file copyright strikes against his video so they can fight over the monetization of it.
Indeed. All right, Abby, what do you have to plug?
You can find me on Twitter at Abby A, over at Top Rope Press, where I'm basically the only person there anymore. Pretty much daily trying to keep up with everything. And I will plug New Japan World for the shows this weekend, and I will plug Lucha Forever out of the UK. Great British Wrestling. They have a streaming service. Really, really good matches. You can see people like Pete Dunne and Marufuji from Noah just try to kill each other with chops, and it's glorious and beautiful and nasty.
And what about your Ko-fi site for people who want to tip you for all the work you do at Top Rope Press?
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, I need to stay awake. There's a link at the top of my page, at the top of my Twitter feed, where if you would like to, donate to help me stay awake, to keep Top Rope Press running, you can buy me a coffee or a donut or, a Valium, something like that. Whatever you want.
Can I get a job, Abby? I'll cover all the Tai Chi matches. Can I get a job?
Hell yeah, I need writers.
All right, that's Thursday Night AMP for this week. Enjoy TLC if you can, and if you can't, watch something better like The Orville or New Japan. I'm Stevie J. Thanks to all my co-hosts, and Kev, get better soon. We're all cheering for you. Good night, everyone.